Yesterday we went out for the night to our local town.
Yes, this time of the year there is a large annual fair with lots of things to see and do.
Yeah, and what we liked the most was the traditional customs that you can see. And these customs are being kept alive by the young as well as the old.
Yes, and so for this week's podcast on English.com, we're talking about local customs.
Okay, so what do we mean?
Well, I suppose when you're there, the most noticeable thing is the music. Many of the local areas have their own bands. Drumming bands are very popular.
Yeah, and they're so loud. They must be deaf. There are some really young children playing various sized drums. You know, I have my fingers in my ears when they march past.
Me too, yes. And also accordions are very popular.
Not our favourite.
Certainly not mine. And again, the young and the old are playing together.
And then there's lots of singing of traditional folk songs.
And if we talk about the music, we must also mention the dancing. Lots of swirling of skirts and clapping. And often the people who are watching, they also join in.
Yeah, that's because everybody knows the steps. I wonder if they're taught in school or perhaps parents pass on the dance steps.
And we mentioned the skirts, didn't we? So, of course, we must also talk about the colourful traditional costumes to be seen. And it's interesting, although Portugal is a small country, each region has its own unique designs.
Yeah, many of the garments, they're handmade, aren't they? And richly embroidered with bright colours. They look lovely.
So it's obvious that these traditions are alive and well, certainly in this part of Portugal. And it got us wondering, what kind of customs like these are in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, we are quite famous, I think, for our traditions, but not so much with costumes and dancing. We have Morris dancing.
That's true.
But yeah, and they wear a particular costume, but there are no regional costumes or dances.
There's no national dress either for England. I mean, the Welsh have a national dress and the Scots, but not the English. Different parts of the country don't seem to celebrate their own customs, certainly not with clothes or with dancing.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because you can certainly see that in Spain or further afield, India.
Yes, each region has its own dance, its own costume. They're all very different.
But perhaps we're wrong. Do you live in the UK and seen some local traditions?
Or do you live in another country with interesting regional customs?
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.